Good evening everyone, I'm Nat Adamopoulos and this is Full On Football, back for 2009, and of course we're the show that promotes local South Australian football here in Adelaide. Well, being our first show back for the season, it's going to be a show full of firsts as our guests join us with celebrating a lot of firsts for their individual clubs, as you will see as we introduce them. A lot of things have happened since we've haven't seen each other since last year. Of course, we had great achievements by Adelaide United, another first, being one of the first Australian teams to get through not only to the final stages of the ACL but also to the grand final, and they did our state proud. Also had a few very sad moments in football where we had the passing of three individuals who've contributed quite a huge amount to South Australian football. That of course is Martin Crook from Sassy and Joey's coach, also John Jacobs, a stalwart from Modbury Soccer Club, and also John Brannigan, who was involved with Sassy and Adelaide United. So we do send our condolences to all of their families, and it is very sad that they are now gone. But getting right on with the show, of course, we start off with the Super League segment, and our guest tonight, well, his club certainly celebrated a first. They were promoted last year from the Premier League into the Super League, and of course they celebrated with a great win over Campbelltown. So I'd like to introduce the captain of Western Strikers, Chris McNichol. Welcome back to Full On Football.
Thanks, Nat. Great to be here.
Absolutely great. Now, I was at your game. What a fantastic start to your debut in the Super League.
Yeah, it was great to get away with a win. It wasn't the best game in the world, but both teams were out to try and get the 3 points, and fortunately at the end of the game we managed to achieve that. And
you certainly did stand up to Campbelltown. Obviously they were the Fairmont Home Summer Series Cup winners, so they did produce a lot of good quality pre-season football. You guys, I thought, right across the whole board, the whole team really contributed, and of course there's going to be one man that everyone is going to know about in South Australia, and that's your new signing from Brazil, Felipe Garcia.
Yeah, Felipe had a great game, scored a fantastic goal, but like you mentioned, I think it was the evenness of the performance right across the park which contributed to us getting the result.
Now, of course, we did speak briefly to Charlie Villani afterwards, but how was he after the win?
Yeah, he was wrapped. I think leading up to that first game, there was a fair bit of tension around the club. Obviously, a fair bit of pressure on the club to perform in its first game in the Super League. But Charlie was wrapped with probably as much the effort of the guys as the result in the end. So it was good to get the 3 points. But I think the fact that everyone put in such a good effort and tried so hard was as pleasing as anything.
They did, and it was we're going to have a look at the footage later on in the segment, but. There was some real desperate football being played and really nice, tough tackles being put in, and I just thought it was a really great performance by you guys.
Yeah, it was a pretty hard game. Obviously, taking the step from Premier League to Super League is, it's quite a step. And I think most of our guys recognised that the physical side of the game was going to be a step up as well. And we matched Campbelltown in that, and I think even in some areas we exceeded them. Oh,
definitely. Well, you did nullify Catanzaro and Fleetwood, who are the suppliers up front for the guys up front. So that was evident in the first half. They did get back in a little bit in the second half, but you did do the job on them, and it was fantastic. Really well done.
Yeah, it is difficult to keep good players like Catanzaro and Fleetwood and even Trimboli out of the game for 90 minutes because they just have a lot of quality. So you do need to keep an eye on those guys. But certainly the performance of Michael Russo to nullify Catanzaro was a fantastic effort.
Definitely. And we've got some footage of Chiala on Palika, which was interesting to watch during the match. So we'll see that as well. Just before we look at the results, what was the objective? What was the instructions from Charlie leading into and up to the match?
The thing he really concentrated on was commitment for 90 minutes or 90 minutes plus extra time, which in the lead-up games, in the pre-season games, has probably been our downfall. We play well for 45 minutes or 60 minutes and then we turn off for a while, and that's when we've been conceding some soft goals. So it was really to keep that concentration and the commitment going for the whole game, and we did that.
Very interesting. Okay, well, let's have a look at the results for round one of the Super League for the 2009 season, and some very interesting results here. Of course, Western Strikers 3, Campbelltown 2, with goal scorers Lestella, Bullebeck and Felipe Garcia, the Brazilian. And it wasn't Trimboli that scored that goal, it was Catanzaro scored the first, and Torre scoring the second there for Campbelltown City. Adelaide Blue Eagles 3, Modbury 2. Very interesting match. Modbury taking the lead on 2 occasions, but unfortunately the penalty being the decider there. Fernandez with 2 and Perizos with the goal for Adelaide Blue Eagles, and Scotty Wiedenbach coming back from Adelaide United Youth League team into the Modbury side, and Medalyak getting the second goal there for Modbury. In one of the night matches, Adelaide Galaxy going down to Metro Stars. Adelaide Galaxy 1, Metro Stars 3, with Wright scoring for Galaxy and McNichol, Tunbridge and Van Dommel. Good to see Tunbridge scoring, because during the pre-season he found it very difficult to score. Plenty of chances but didn't get any on target, so great to see Scotty getting on the board there. The other night match on Saturday night was Para Hills 1, Raiders 1. Musgrove scoring for Para Hills, and Allegich, what a fantastic free kick he took to score that goal. Really great performance by Raiders, and I think they send out a message to everyone that they're going to be contenders in this league this year. And of course on Monday night, the Monday night home game for Adelaide City, this score does not the outcome or the way the game was played. It was 0-0 up until about the last 10-15 minutes, and then Adelaide City getting 2 great goals because of some fantastic delivery of the ball. Budin scoring and Maury scoring. Maury coming on the second half and doing a great job. So, you know, you can't stop a man like Maury, can you? He's very dangerous.
Yeah, he's incredible. He just keeps on scoring goals. He's just evergreen. What can you say?
And I have to say, Adelaide Hills did play a great match. And again, you were saying you've got to play the full 90 minutes. They got caught out there just towards the end of the match, and 2 goals coming quickly that, well, they lost the points, weren't able to take away the points. So unfortunate there. I'd like to show the footage from your match, because it was a wonderful match. So let's roll that tape and have a look at some of the highlights from this match. Look, I thought you guys really did well in this game. You had, you know, as I said, the pre-season cup winners to face up to. Your first match in, first match home. Fantastic support by your fans as well, because there was a nice big crowd there. Yeah,
there was a lot of support there. There was probably a lot of people who, you know, wanted to see us in our first outing, and, you know, fortunately for us, we were able to reward them with 3 points. There was also quite a few supporters from Campbelltown at the game. The conditions weren't ideal. You know, there was quite a strong breeze blowing across the park for the whole game, and you know, the pitch was a little bit bumpy, with perhaps not enough water getting onto it in the pre-season. But there's a great